Okay, hello everyone, and I hope you had good day so far. So today class, I go to the second section of your class, which is visual analytics. I mean descriptive analytics, and so for doing that, you need to download and install Tableau. I already sent you an email, which you can see the information. So please go to this link. You can download both of them, but download the desktop version, put your email, and then click download the free trial. When you download it, then just click next to install it. Okay. And when you go to the installation steps, just show it here. You need to provide this product key. So I just give you like 5 minutes to do that. So please download the Tableau Desktop version and install it on your system, because today we are going to do some practice with Tableau, just very minimum practices. So from the next week, we have more practices using Tableau, so you have to install it on your system. So I give you like 5 minutes to do that. Yes, what's your question? The product is this one. It's in your email. You already activated, so that's one. You're good. So it's for the people who hasn't downloaded. Okay, while your friends are installing, so in Tableau you can find very good tutorials. I'm going to teach many parts of Tableau to you, but you can just do Tableau training. Inside the Tableau website, you can see there is so many videos that basically teach you many good things. It doesn't take too much time. It takes a significant time. I think it's like 5 or 6 hours. But basically, you can see many good tutorials. Anybody had issues in installation of Tableau? Share. Okay, so today we studied descriptive analysis. I wanted to make it asynchronous, but I was thinking that today is kind of like a lab, so it's better to just have a hybrid. So later I'll post you a synchronous video for the remaining part of descriptive analysis that is not lab. So you can watch the video and just understand what is going on. Okay, so next week, September 7th, we have our first type of formats that you can imagine. Read the posted readings, and which I post today. And last class, I talked about some readings. Fine, that's no. Okay. So also today I show you some readings and titles. So please read by the next week. And we also have the second homework that I already posted. Due date is September 14th. And also let me just keep in mind that your first project delivery is September 25th. Basically just problem statement, data, you need to talk about your data source, motivations, and why you chose this project. It's a very short delivery. There's no, and no worries if you change your idea later, but at least just submit your assignment by the due. It's better not to change your idea, I think, because you spend a significant amount of time to find the topic and data set. But I mean, anyway, please don't miss these due dates. Is there any question about the project? So for the guys who's using Zoom, you can either like use your microphone to ask your question, or you can just text your question over Zoom so I can see if you have any questions. I mean, at the end of semester, we have a presentation. I mean, you basically need to learn how to present your research in a that's competition. Basically, people present the research or presentation in 3 minutes. So they just highlight the most important parts. Also, you can look at TED Talks and get a better idea how to present your. Last semester, no, actually I should say last year. Let me see, when was that? No, it was last semester before COVID-19. So we had basically students have to present research, and what I noticed that just few groups had a really good presentation. The rest were not, they didn't know how to present very well. So having a good presentation skills is really necessary for your future success. You need to be able to present your idea. So lastly, we had the introduction, course structure, type of analytics, affecting choosing an effective visualization, and I mentioned a little bit Tableau. Basically, we start this week, not last week, because last week I just mentioned a little bit. So today we start, we go over some visualization examples. We understand how to develop exploratory questions. We talk about the importance of storytelling, types of visualizations, and some hands-on experiences. So for today, there's a question. Okay, for the one of your friends had a question about the quiz. I just give the quiz to you, and you have a half a day to answer it. Just one day, not half a day. So if you are either in the US or any part of the world, you have 1 day to answer the questions. Let's see if there's any question. So I talk about the application case 1.2 and 1.3 in your asynchronous version because I want to skip a little bit of material to have time for Tableau. But through that video, we have a discussion about those case studies. And they might be even in your exam, so just please read that. So for the guys who's using Zoom, have you guys got the book? I mean, either printed version or the ebook? So none of you got the textbook. So please get the textbook soon, either electronic version or the text printed version. Otherwise, how could you answer the next quiz? So let's just skip it. So because the people on the Zoom, so they cannot understand what I'm talking about. So anyway, so slide I talk about asynchronous version. So let's have a look at the art of analytics. In this collection, you see very amazing visualizations. So in this course, you cannot basically make those visualizations. For those visualizations, you need to know some visualization scripts, especially D3 is a really good one. But we can see very amazing visualizations here. So here we look at 20, I mean, in the art of analytics, there is 20 amazing visualizations. You can see how people use knowledge in programming. They use their creativity and finding a very interesting way to present their data. Look at this one. The name of this piece of art is Calling Silkers by Christopher Hellman. So basically dots are phone number and edges are the calls. And you see some have too many calls coming to them. Basically, they're either auto dialer or some machine-made calls. So with this visualization, they can understand which are not, which of them are just machine calls and which of them the like traditional casual calls between the people. So very interesting. I mean, look at this one. This is about the tweets, and they look at the Twitter storm caused by negative tweets following by Margaret Thatcher's death. So some people defend that tweet, which is the within, it's like a galaxy actually. So the inside of the galaxy, basically they're defending the tweet, the outside they are opposing. So they are attacking that negative tweet. So this is just shows the money transfer between different companies, cash in and cash out. And you can understand where are the customers, who's lending most and who's getting the money. This one is for like network analysis. The other one, dots basically are guaranteed loans and the line are the guarantors. So the people who's guaranteeing money. Okay, this one is also interesting. It's about 86 whiskey brands rated across 12 flavor characteristics. So this leaf is basically talking about some information about whiskeys. Basically, in this visualization, you can get very good information, for example, about the loans, about the tweets, about the machine calls and actual calls. But the most important is that I just want to emphasize in the artistic part of the visualizations. This one was created with by one of my friends, Pankaj Kalgotra. So he wanted to just show diseases associated to different organs, and sometimes people get multiple diseases at the same time. So you see some lines between bubbles showing that some association. So if you have like maybe some heart issue, at the same time you might have a kidney problem. So you see there's some pale lines between the organs. So it's just showing the association between different organ diseases. So having said that, let me just read the data visualization, the code. The user visualization representation, the user visual representation to explore, make sense, and communicate that. So we're also talking about information visualization, basically aggregations, summarization, and contextualization of the data. Some of those visualizations basically were for, I mean, the emphasis in the artistic part of the visualization. But look at here. With this visualization, also it's very artistic. You can easily find maybe let's say your T-mobile, and maybe this visualization you can easily pick those. Versus instead of this visualization, you might have like 100 pages of the phone calls. It's very hard to, much harder to find which are the actual calls and which are the machine calls. So this helps you to understand those kind of information. So as you see, what we mean from information is aggregation, summarization, contextualization of the data. It needs some processing. So it's more for the recent decades versus data visualization is a very long field. I mean, it's very old field, sorry. It's just you can take a second century AD. Most development occurred in the last 2.5 centuries. And it just recently recognized as basically as a field or discipline. And like you can just look at history and you can see some interesting visualization, like what happened during Napoleon Army Russian campaign. What was this one? This one is about imports to and from Denmark and Norway, like from 1700 to 1780. So as you see, it's very old visualization. So these days our data types is very different. So decades. Comments. Based on my experiences, whenever I had an issue with the bank, in my Twitter, I just said, I'm mad at PNC Bank, they did this to me. And whenever I tweet anything about my PNC Bank, they responded me quickly. So probably, most likely, they have a contract with Twitter, so they access to all the tweets and they can easily understand what we are talking about. But probably if you use hashtags, it's much easier for them to find you guys. On the Twitter is under Twitter processing the tweets is under text mining, which we cover in one of our courses, that we look at the tweet data and just find what we are talking about, general feeling about specific topics. These are the general concerns or issues in the for data visualization. Data visualization, you should have good data. So data source reliability, content accuracy, data accessibility, security, richness, consistency, granularity, validity, and data relevance. So can anyone say an example about data source reliability? That was, it was like big. I think that in so many media. So it was very interesting. Before the last election, another one was selected, and also we have seen Russian interference in the last election. So these are, they used to post so many so-called fake information through the social media. And there's actually a good paper from Dr. Gupta who used text mining to just picking the fake news. So some people are doing research to understand if there any specific data is fake or not. Having said that, the logic behind the data visualization is similar to programming: garbage in, garbage out. So if you enter wrong data, your conclusion is true. Having said that, we generally have two types of the data: structured and unstructured. Structured is very, much easier to process, and you started to learn about the structured data since your first class. Basically, that is in structured data is either numerical or categorical. Categorical could be order, could be name. For example, name of a country is a nominal data, which is generally under categorical data, versus country's population is a numerical data. Unstructured, mostly in the, we already had unstructured data a long time ago, but unstructured data processing is a new topic. So how to process image, audio, video, or text data. I think I've seen the news that in China now they are using camera to just finding wrong people in the who's walking the street, and they can just scan their images and find if they are criminal or not. So they are basically doing image processing. Having said that, the first part of visualization is being sure about the quality of data. So basically, you need to consolidate your data from different sources. So your data is more comprehensive. You need to clean your data. If, basically, some data is fake, just get rid of them. Some of them doesn't make sense. For example, in one of my research, I look at the adult height, and some of the height was 5 inches, 6 inches. It was probably some typos there. So I just dropped those data that didn't make sense for me. Or some people, adult weight was 20 kilos, or in pound, like 40 pounds, 50 pounds. Doesn't make sense if an adult has those weights. So probably typos or some mistake. Basically, you need to clean your data. And transformation, basically, have you heard about imputation and like? So imputation means sometimes you don't have any specific data, but you impute a number instead of that. So for example, you want to look at the height of people in a specific part of the country, and for 10% of people, we don't have their height. We don't want to drop the 10% of the population. Instead of those 10%, we put some numbers for analytics that I explain later, so we call it imputation. So this figure shows you different types of figure that you can do for your data. For example, here, when you look at the relationships, and you have two variables, you can do this. When you have three variables, so one is X, another one is Y, and also the size of circles is another variable. So you can show three variables through this. We have pie chart, bar chart. Some of them are related to time, normality of data, distribution of your data, and so on and so forth. So there's an interesting website. The name is Gapminder. In the Gapminder, you can see how visualization brings good data for you guys. So let me just go over Gapminder. And at the end, you can make something like these figures that I'm showing to you. So it's me. So we call this kind of graphs as a dashboards. They are interactive. So basically, you change some parameters, and it just shows on those figures. Dashboards. So let's look at, let's play this one. X is income, Y is life expectancy. And you can change those variables. So you can change your Y-axis. You can change it to population, energy variables, how much coal they consume, how much oil, or total amount. So let's just focus on life expectancy as Y. You can just change your X variables. So look at the different health measure, energy measure, population, so on and so forth. So for now, we are just focusing on the first one, which is income versus life expectancy. By the way, these are different countries. As you see, the color means they're from different world regions. For example, Asia is purple, yellow is Europe, Africa is a type of blue, whatever, and America is in green. For example, if I go to this one is India. So let's see what happens. During these years, there's some like something happened in China. Suddenly, it dropped. Some health crisis. That so 1868, it was China and India and other countries, but United Kingdom is much higher than other countries. Switzerland, Belgium, the best one was Norway. By the way, life expectancy, like this time in India is 25, and in China was like 31. It doesn't mean they couldn't live more than 25 years. It just means so many childs died. So the average, if like, if a grandma has 80 years old and her grandchildren just died in the first day, 80 plus 0 divided by 2 is 40. So this is the overall average life expectancy. It doesn't mean that they couldn't live more than 25 years. So what you can hear in those years, so many young people died in China and India versus in the England or United Kingdom or in Norway. I mean, infant death was much less than those countries. Let's see what happened when we go further. Suddenly, India and China drop. I think I expect that it was a war or whatever health issue. So what happened in this year? Let's go back. Almost whole of the world dropped significantly. Can anyone tell me what happened? If you, yeah, World War I is like around 1980. Suddenly, almost whole of the world life expectancy dropped so bad. And I guess there were no information about India. India disappeared. So it doesn't mean that it was. So what happened in China in 1959? Something in 1960. But as you see in 2019, there's no big difference in countries. Almost all countries are really in good shape. There's some differences, but minor differences in between all countries. Versus if you go here, I guess there's still, I mean, there is not that much of gap, but you can see during the centuries or years, all of the world death is much lower, and healthcare for probably for pregnant women and also much better than all the. So instead of this figure or dashboard, if you want to talk about this or read about that, you need to spend like half a day to read all of the death during the history and just see what happened and compare the countries. Versus now, you can see what happened during years for all the countries in just like 2 minutes. This is the power of visualization, and people appreciate it a lot. Actually, it might look easy to understand, but the way that people develop such figures, it needs a lot of effort. So you try to transfer some information with programming skills or some other skills that you learn many of them in this course. So the guys from China, you can just check what happened around 1960. So you never heard about it in your country, but with a visualization, you don't need to pass a history course to understand. So something happened like 1960s. Any questions so far? Yes. So, I mean, I haven't looked at the website, but I expect some pessimists as average. there is a one concept. One died first day, and one first year, the third one after in 20 years, and the last one lived 80 years. So they say 80 plus 60 plus 20 plus 1 plus 0 divided by 5. You can play with this website a lot. Instead of color, or just spend a good amount of time, you can find a very interesting historical information. Okay, so as you see, this kind of figure, we call them dashboard, means they're interactive. You can change some parameters and then look at the information. But these are static figures. You don't have any interaction with them. So in Tableau, you can make both of them. These are the most famous visualization tools for data visualization and analytics. The leaders are Tableau, Qlik, and Microsoft, SAS, SAP, IBM. These are the visionaries. Challengers are MicroStrategy, and there's some niche players. Niche players mean they focus on a specific type of visualizations. But as you see, if you go over y-axis, you increase the ability of execution, and completeness of vision is when you go over X. So as you see, these two measures, Tableau is really good one. And the most common, I can say it could be the most common visualization tools that people use these days. For those artistic visualization, you need to do by programming, especially D3 is a really good programming language for visualization. In recent years, combine information visualization with predictive analytics. Basically, information visualization, we look at the system situation. Even sometimes it's really good for data cleaning, but with predictive analytics, you want to predict what will happen in the future. So, importance of storytelling. Let me just read this code. Without storytelling, data offers just a rear view mirror. Cliff Humley, co-founder of customer science company dunnhumby. Complexity is your enemy, and fool can make something complicated. It is hard to make something simple. So everybody can have data in the figures and just say something, but making visualization easier is your skill. So it needs a lot of skill to make a very informative and easy figures to understand. The reason, do you guys know this guy? Who's that? He's this? Yes, yeah. He's really a famous guy in the business. So, in this course, many of our classes would be in the hands-on experiences. Basically, you learn how to do static figures and like dashboard as the interactive figures using Tableau. So let me just, okay, let's have some experience with Tableau, but basically, as you see here, this is a kind of dashboard. Actually, a really easy dashboard. can make much more complicated figures. Anyway, so please open your Tableau. Oh, first of all, go to Moodle, second week. So download in-class PDF and also sample Superstore subset. I give you a couple of minutes to download it. So open the PDF and also open your Tableau. Open Tableau Desktop. Where's that? Desktop. Oh, what happened? Open multiple times. Okay, so first we need to bring the downloaded Excel file. So on the left side, let me see if your friends can see it. Yeah. So click on Microsoft Excel and then open, oh no, this is not this one. Okay, open the sample Superstore subset. So for today, we just work with the order data sheet. So drag data sheet order here. Drag from left side and leave it here. Now in the rectangle, it is an order rectangle. So let me just do it again. So let me just wait. So after importing your Excel file, on the left side you see or. Let me first open the Excel file first. So when you open the Excel file, the first sheet is about the orders information. For example, order ID, subcategory, product container, name. So these are about the order information. So you have some multiple rows with the same order ID. So basically, if in the order you have more than one product, you see multiple rows with the same order ID. Second is about the return. So just saying which order ID is returned. And the last one is the user, just manager of each region. So for today, we just work with the order data sheet. So it's the reason in Tableau, when let's just go from scratch again. So it might take a little bit. Have you guys had a skill class or any database classes? I think half of you, yes, half of you know. So you can connect those tables together with the IDs. For example, order, I just drag and drop order to this and then return. As you see, they are connected. How? Yes, through the order ID. And you can play with the connection is one-to-many or many-to-many, but since it's for your database class, I don't go in depth. Or you can drag user ID, so users. As you see, they are connected through the region. Anyway, since it's related to your database course, not this course, let me just remove them. But if you already had the experiences, you understand what I'm talking about. So for today, I'm just working with the orders table. So it's similar to the Excel file that I opened for you. Here, click on sheet 1, and you see an empty sheet. So first of all, we have two sets of variables on the left side. The topper one in name variables, and the bottom is value variables. Basic name variables means the uppers are categorical variables, such as customer ID, customer name, date, order ID, order priority, postal code. You cannot just sum postal code or measure them. They're just names. The second part is the numerical values, like amount of profit, amount of sale, price. These are, you can measure them. So it's the reason upper variables are numerical. So the upper variables are nominal, the bottom are numerical. Basically, or in the Tableau, these are name variables, bottom are value variables, just the way that they named it in Tableau. So let's do some visualizations. First one. In the row columns, I have product category. In the bottom, I have amount of sale. So if you have experience in Python R, it takes like 5 minutes, at least 5 minutes to do it in Python R, even more. But here, product category, drag and drop here. What is the bottom? I forgot. Some sales. Drag, drop. You make it in 10 seconds. As you see, So when I ask you to make it a story about your figure, here your story is that the most sales in technology, then furniture, and your lowest sale is in the office supplies. You can change the sum function. You can go here, click on, or right click, measure the sum. You can change it to average, median, count, minimum, maximum, so on and so forth. And we talk about them later, but here, Tableau is that much smart. First of all, look at how Tableau is smart. First of all, you can understand that this one nominal. Doesn't mean that you have to do that. You can just change the function. Oh, first of all, is there any question from the guys over Zoom? So whenever you have questions, just let me know. Either like by microphone or you can text me. Look at the second figure. So we look at the region, and CNT stands for count. How many sales in each region? So for doing that, here, just click on New Sheet button. Next to Sheet 1, there's a button there. So column or region. So order ID, let's see. No, not this. Okay, so instead of order ID, I'd right click, measure, count. Now I change to CNT. Yes. So you can, if you look at this figure, so somebody tell me a story about this figure, what he's talking about. What information you can get from this figure? It's very easy, you know, it's not difficult. You can say in the central region, we have more number of orders. That's it. I mean, in the other figures, we have much complicated stories, but as you see, this story is not difficult. You can just say what happened in different regions. Yeah. So as you see, some orders we have one item, in some we have multiple items. So here we didn't, here we took care of all the items in order. So if you go distinct, it doesn't matter if you have one order in one item in order or 10 items in order. So I think this one is more informative, but let's just change it to distinct. No big differences, but yeah, there's some differences. Now I change to CNTD order, right? So let's make a new one. So it's more interesting. This time, our rows are measure names and okay, we look at count, summation, and we want to show multiple information here. So measure names. So let's see what we should. Measure values. Okay, let me just do one by one. So measure names, just put the numerical, it just means it refers to the nominal variables. Measure values, I drag and drop here. But, you know, count of order, discount, profit, quantity of order, new sale, shopping cost. These are the information, but it doesn't show anything here. Next to measure values, there is, you see some small circles. Click on it and change it to text. Tableau tries to get this kind of format. So, but I told Tableau just to show the text, so now you see the values. So for example, you see count of orders, you have 9,000 orders, discount, summation of discount, product-based margin, profit, and these are come from here. So the numbers that you're here, CNT orders, if you remember, counting total amount of orders, which is like here. Let's put. So did you see what I drop region here? Now I see those measures in each region separately. So when you go home, just play with rows and columns, and you see very interesting values and numbers. You just for today, just showing some simple your first Tableau experience, and it might be a little confusing for you first because you haven't used to that. So later we have more labs. So when you do more hands-on experiences, I mean, Tableau is super easy for you. So this one. For the columns, I look at the product container and measure names. And also for rows, we have values, measure values. Okay, product containers. Product containers, measure names, measure values. Okay. So here we have extra information. So here for the values, I just look at profit and sales. So let me just get rid of them. So that just profit and sales. So you can see amount of your profit and sale on each container type, like either jumbo box, jumbo drum, large box, or like up to wrap bag, and how much sale and profit you had for them. So based on this figure, which one looks the best type of what is the best which container type had the best performance in your point of view, and which one had the worst performance? Tell me which container had the worst performance. Yes. Jump, huh? What you said? So here I drag and drop measure name, and I click on this one, and I think at first it was something like this. Then I click it and select color. Yes, your friend is really right, jumbo box. Basically, this performing container means this is the worst performing. But no worries, I expect it might be very confusing for you at this time, but when you play more, it makes more sense, yes? Yeah, I mean, you can just, instead of these two colors, you can just change it this one, and instead of sale, maybe you can just, yeah. We talk about it later, but for today, I just want to just briefly show you how you can play with the colors. Yeah, your friend is right. When you select your measure names to be colors, you can go to the color option and even play with the colors that you had. So I had these two options. You can change these types. This one, I select blue. So today, just for your first hands-on experience, is like, but learning curve is much more than this. So we have extra labs and we go details further. So this one, I don't do it in Tableau. You can easily do it later. So we look at sum of sale in columns. These are sale column, and rows are product category and product subcategory. So is there any class after us? If not, let's just do all of them. So I'm not sure. I don't want to just block people's. So sales here. So which I just have columns. For the row, I put product category. So you can see sale in each category. Then I drop subcategory after product category. So in each category, you can see the amount of selling subcategories of the category. So what is the best subcategory in terms of sale performance? Probably office machines. Yeah, there's you have best sales. And you can sort them too. I mean, we talk it later and you can play with that, but let's just sort them. Okay, it's just sort in each category, not alphabetic. Based on data source order. Anyway, let's do the next one. Okay, shipping cost versus profit. And here, profit, shipping cost. Okay, we have product category priority name. Product category for order priority. And product name. So the first one, color shape dot color shape and dot. Let's do the next one. Okay, next one is more interesting. So columns are date, and we also have sub date, which is based on quarter, and the rows is amount of sale. So I go here, drag and drop order, but the first one is year, date order is year. I click on this yellow button, or you can right click, go here and select quarter. And let's drop sale. Oh, sorry, no. first, okay, this one is year. So you can see sales increasing over year. Again, I drop order date this time and change this one to quarter. So you, based on these figures, which quarter you have the most sale? Yes, in last quarter you have the best sale. And usually, I mean, it doesn't matter. It depends on the different years. Usually first or second quarter is your lowest sale performance, but last two quarters you have much more sale. So these are the information that you can easily get from figures. Without these things, you need to look at the tables and compare numbers and really confusing. But with this figure, you can understand in like 2 seconds. So this is the power of visualizations. This one, week versus sale. Again, shouldn't be very difficult. So order date here and granularity instead of month or quarter, I select week and sale here. It seems near December you have a lot of sale near the, I mean, I guess second week of December almost. In each year you have much more sale. So, okay, this is more interesting. So some sale year, quarter, month. So first one is service, second one, see it was color, right? Let me see. Then we look at based on different date. Year, quarter, and month. Year. Then I ask them to show me the label. Again, I drop order date and select month. So in this one, we don't have any rows and columns. Everything is in the middle. This perform. Same as before, we can just create this number. So if you are not happy with the month, maybe you can just select week. But it's much harder. Now it's a lot. It's really difficult. If you are, I change it to day, you almost cannot. But you can see very good dates. For example, in 2012, November 18 was really a good day. 2011, 22 October was a really good one. These are even days. It brings good information. So let's just change it to quarter. Anyway, so that's for today. Today we just had a small hands-on experience over Tableau. If you go over Tableau website, you can find very good free tutorials. But basically, Tableau is not difficult. Actually, it really is the software. It's your first, even it's your first time. Still, you can make some figures and get some information. If it was Python or R, you need to spend like 3 months to get to this point. So you see the power of Tableau. So even if you don't work it for like half a year, which I didn't work with Tableau in half a year, but when today I just play a little bit, I almost remembered everything. So it's very intuitive software, very useful, and in job market, actually people are looking for it. So it's really good if you have this in your resume, saying that you are good in working with Tableau. So any questions for today? Yes. What do you mean? In this one? Here? Okay. No, there is no first and second. It just show how they work together. Yeah, it's a relationship. It's just basically saying that orders, I mean, data of rows in this order are connected to rows in that other table with the order ID. So, for example, you want to see if okay, let's connect them together and show you in the one figure. So, okay. Look at the returns table now. Order, maybe saves. Oh no, one of them is really big, so count. What happened? Oh, there is too many orders. So it's the reason we don't see. Look, instead of order ID. Yes. So let me see. Let's put a status. So I drop a status and number of sale, or I'm not sure if it's a good one. Instead of count, let's put the actual value. So sum. Null means there is no return, so you can change the names later. But you know, if you go through the data source, let's see. Okay, this is return. In the return table, we don't have any information about the amount of money that they return. But in the order table, you have the amount of sale. Let's say, and you have order ID. So if there's a mixture of information that you need to use different tables. It's the way that you need to drag and drop all of them here. It's the return. Oh no. Let's just delete this for now. Have you had a database course before? So anyway, I mean, there is some type of relationship between different databases, but never mind. Let's say you want to make a figure from multiple tables. In the first part of the Tableau, we just drag and drop everything on that sheet. Just say they are connected. There is some connection between them. Or we want to make a comprehensive report that has information of multiple tables. But if you want to bring the information, you need to just define the logic, how these two different tables are connected to each other. I'm not sure if I answered your question. Okay. Let me see you. I think there's another class, so let me just turn off the thing. Okay, guys, have a good rest of the day.